Yeah, baby.
She's so rotten, she wants migrants picking cotton. We present to you Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who made this shocking argument why America needs immigrants. Roll it, Alfred.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
Just when the wheels fall off.
You're not.
Jasmine Crockett walked into the spotlight like she completely owned the room. Her eyeliner sharp and her confidence even sharper, ready to convince everyone she was about to take over the moment. But Gutfeld and Megan Kelly weren't there to give her an easy win. They showed up with zero patience and even less mercy. Gutfeld hit her argument so hard it felt like watching a verbal firestorm, while Megan sliced through her reasoning like she was correcting a courtroom script gone wrong. Jasmine arrived with pure attitude in a game that needed strategy, and she ended up getting checkmated right in front of the cameras on live TV.
It's just, that's what she does. She puts out this video of her acting in a certain way, and that's how she fundraises.
Mm-hmm. We actually did a bit of a deep dive on her after my old colleague from Fox News, Todd Starnes, posted something on X not long ago, Walter. He posted the following: Jasmine Crockett wants you to think she's from the hood, that she grew up on the streets. The exact opposite is true. She attended an exclusive day school where tuition is nearly $35,000 a year. She also attended Rhodes College, a private school where tuition is nearly $55,000 a year. She's cosplaying a gangsta. So we looked up her background. She was born in St. Louis. She's 43. Her dad was a Baptist pastor and a teacher. Her mother worked in a post office. She graduated from Mary Institute and St. Louis Country Day School, one of the most expensive private schools in the city. Indeed, the current tuition, $35,000 a year.
Jasmine Crockett walked into Congress like she'd just fallen out of a dramatic TV spinoff nobody remembered asking for, moving somewhere between a courtroom meltdown and a reality show entrance that came out of nowhere. She treated C-SPAN like it was the Bad Girls Club, Capitol Hill edition, full of sudden reactions and camera-ready poses. And honestly, if TikTok outbursts and Twitter-style clapback moments counted as real qualifications, she'd be Speaker, Majority Leader, and Secretary of SAS all at once. But reality doesn't bend that way, because real politics isn't built on side eyes and dramatic sound bites. It's built on substance, and she seemed to leave all of that tucked away in her Instagram drafts.
Jasmine Crockett's got another hot take. No blacks and whites on a wedding cake. The Democrats' new chosen one, Jasmine Crockett, is in the news again for an old clip where she attacked Florida Rep. Byron Donalds for marrying a white woman. Roll it, Bertha.
The fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that they're whitewashed you?
That's not very woke, is it?
Then Gutfeld and Megan Kelly stepped in, two media heavy hitters who don't need filters, fancy lighting, or soft edges to make an impact. They weren't there for gentle politics. They came prepared to roast, and definitely not the campfire kind. Jasmine Crockett looked like she had wandered into Shark Tank while dressed for a RuPaul's Drag Race. Capitol Chaos Edition moment, completely out of place and unprepared. This wasn't a calm debate, it was pure verbal destruction. No buzzers, no polite greetings, just a full-speed demolition derby of arguments. And poor Jasmine rolled in like she brought a tiny tricycle to a war filled with monster trucks, watching everything crash around her while she tried to keep up.
Speaking of leftist hypocrisy and cluelessness, Jasmine Crockett is a rising star amongst the far-left progressives in this country. She's a representative from Houston, Texas, of all places, which makes no sense because she seems to be far too left for Houston, but apparently not because they elected her. It must be like, Orange County in California being like the one outlier in an otherwise uniformly state, like all red with the one blue, all blue with the one red. Okay, so Jasmine Crockett got up at a Los Angeles dinner this past Saturday, and it was hosted by, this is perfect, the Human Rights Campaign.
Let's be honest, Greg Gutfeld didn't just walk onto the scene. He stormed in with the chaotic spark of a snarky raccoon who not only memorized every line of the Constitution, but figured out how to turn sarcasm into a full political weapon. Every sentence he delivered felt like a quick jab wrapped in clever wit, and every punchline carried a layer of legal shade. Then Megan Kelly followed, calm, sharp, and absolutely lethal, like the principal who steps into a cafeteria food fight with a clipboard and a stare that shuts everyone down instantly. And Jasmine, she was the kid tossing mashed potatoes like it was a viral prank, unaware that every angle was being captured in clear 4K, documenting every messy moment she thought people would forget.
That was 3 years ago. The ones of her just sounding like a normal person talking. 3 years, not like that was 20 years, but then she moved to Mississippi for all that time. That was 3 years ago. She sounded like a totally normal person. It's only now she's got her accent and she's gonna kick everybody's ass. It's such an affectation.
Crockett's whole political style runs on pure aesthetic outrage, almost like the congressional version of tossing glitter onto a legal argument and hoping it looks impressive. It's loud, it's shiny, it steals attention for a moment, but underneath all that sparkle, it's basically a nothing burger served with an extra helping of sass. Her appearance wasn't built on policy or real solutions. It felt more like performance art, less legislation, and more cosplay energy, somewhere between I'm reclaiming my time and can I finish my sentence. She seemed to forget that true governance isn't about viral drama or dramatic pauses. It's about actually doing the work. And no level of fierce glares can replace genuine leadership when the cameras finally stop rolling.
Is she making any point there?
Like this makes me wish my mom made different father choices.
Greg didn't even need to raise his voice. Just a few bone-dry, perfectly timed observations, and Jasmine Crockett's entire argument fell apart faster than a bargain suit pulled from a campaign donor clearance rack. Her talking points were handled by Greg like expired coupons, useless, outdated, and not valid in any real conversation, and every time she puffed herself up to deliver what she clearly believed was a mic drop moment, Greg barely blinked, not from politeness, but from pure lack of interest, as if he could have solved a Sudoku puzzle in the middle of her rant and still had time to roast her before she finished speaking. Then Megan Kelly stepped in, the kind of presence that makes a room sit up straighter without a single word. And while Jasmine acted like she was auditioning for a Congress remake of Mean Girls, Megan arrived loaded with receipts, timelines, facts, and the calm precision to take someone apart without shifting her tone. Watching her dismantle Jasmine's political persona was like watching an IRS auditor with a personal mission, cold, meticulous, and strangely satisfying. And since this wasn't even a formal debate with podiums or timers, Kelly didn't wait her turn. She dissected Crockett's legislative record like a frog in a high school biology class. And the sad truth was, there wasn't much to dissect because Jasmine's political contribution reads like a failed group project where she showed up late, added emojis to the PowerPoint, and still tried to claim she did all the work.
So this is funny. Jasmine Crockett sits on the Judiciary Committee, and about a month ago, Walter, I testified.
Yes, we saw this.
Yeah, and the hearings, the full committee hearings, are quite long. You can be there for over 4 hours. So, and they let the most junior members ask questions last. So I had to sit for quite a long time. And then at the very end, Jasmine Crockett, who I'd never heard before, suddenly started screaming at me and Michael Schellenberger. And when you're a witness in Congress, you have to pay attention to what everybody says, because you never know when you're going to be asked an actual question and allowed to, maybe even allowed to speak. But I could not understand what she was saying. She was moving from one thing to another, and she was doing all that code switching stuff with the y'alls and y'all eyeing on this and everything.
Gutfeld cut straight to the uncomfortable truth. Jasmine Crockett isn't in politics for policy. She's in it for the performance, building her whole brand on curated outrage built from finger snaps, eye rolls, and dramatic camera-ready theatrics meant to trend instead of inform. It's not that she lacks skill, it's that she chooses showmanship whenever the camera light turns red and the possibility of a viral hashtag appears. She doesn't need a debate stage as much as she needs a PR team and a political mentor to remind her that Congress isn't an improv set with a glam crew and a quota of catchphrases. And one moment revealed everything. Jasmine tried to deliver a dramatic line about fighting for the people, expecting applause, or at least a dramatic beat. But Gutfeld didn't even bother responding. He just smirked and let silence expose the emptiness of her words, like a spotlight on a mime who forgot the routine. Megan didn't blink either, showing a calmness that only comes from surviving multiple election cycles, countless news storms, and probably ghosting more commentators than a reality star in a messy breakup. Jasmine's supporters may call her bold, and sure, if yelling at a fast food drive-thru counts as courage, then she's practically heroic, but volume isn't value and drama isn't depth. While Crockett turned every appearance into a tantrum fit for a gif, Greg and Megan were busy giving a masterclass on political takedowns, showing exactly how not to embarrass yourself while trying to sound smart.
This woman, I've had about enough of her. She wants to be like a member of the squad. She thinks of herself like an AOC. She talks like, you know, she's from the hood. Meanwhile, she grew up in a nice family. She didn't talk like this 3 years ago. 3 years ago, she sounded like you and I sound in this conversation. Like, I'm really excited to be going to Congress. I can't wait to get started on my new job. And now she's like, we need to smack him in the head.
We know that we work for the American people. And what we not gonna do is stand around while they pull this that they trying to pull right now.
Like, what do you, we have videotape. Why are you talking like that? No one believes this bullshit. And now she's graduated to acting like a thug. So congratulations, your term in the U.S. Congress is going really well.
That was a great impression.
She tossed out buzzwords like confetti at a New Year's Eve party, hoping anything would stick. But this wasn't Times Square, and Jasmine Crockett wasn't celebrating a victory. She was the turkey at a political roast with the heat turned all the way up. Her entire defense rested on eye rolls so dramatic it's a wonder she didn't sprain something on live television, while Megan Kelly stayed cold, exact, and unshakably focused, citing bills, voting records, and something Crockett clearly hadn't reviewed since her last viral tweet: reality. This wasn't a debate, it was a complete beatdown. Jasmine brought vibes while Greg and Megan arrived with receipts, facts, and footnotes, creating a painfully poetic gap between how Jasmine imagines herself and how she actually performs. In her head, she's delivering powerful speeches from the mountaintop, some mix of revolution and fierce resistance, but in real life, she barely rises above TikTok-level activism, trying to pass social media threads off as policy. After watching her political image get scorched from the ground up, you'd think she'd retreat, regroup, maybe even read a civics book or glance at an actual bill, but no. She doubled down like someone who just discovered Uno cards and assumed the reverse card works in Congress. Skip, draw four, roll your eyes, and hope nobody notices the argument has no substance. But Greg and Megan weren't playing around. They were handing out reality checks, and Jasmine's bounced higher than her press conference promises, landing right in the pile labeled not serious.
Do you share your boxcar with people of color?
I do.
Yeah.
My boxcar does not know race, does not know gender. It is a welcome space
That is so
where only
beautiful.
deodorant is not welcome. I like this Jasmine Crockett lady, right?
It's a great name, isn't it, for a villain?
Yeah.
And Crockett is the whitest last name you could ever have. I just want to throw that out there.
Sonny Crockett, Miami Vice.
Yes?
It's like the whole thing is like, because I've seen her, she's very well spoken, and then she gets on certain programs and lets it. So maybe this whole thing is like a Netflix documentary, like a new spin on Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde.
And here's the truth, it wasn't even personal, because Gutfeld and Kelly weren't coming after Jasmine's style. They were coming after the influencer-style activism that turns congressional hearings into flashy clickbait moments. It's the kind of spectacle where every glare becomes a meme, and every line sounds like it belongs on a BuzzFeed list titled 29 times Jasmine Crockett eyeballed her way to justice. And if she spent even half the energy crafting real policy that she spends perfecting her camera angles, she might actually produce something meaningful meaningful instead of legislation that reads like a long tweet. When it comes to results, that rare thing politicians are supposed to deliver, Gutfeld calmly pointed out what everyone else was too polite to say. Jasmine Crockett's resume looks like someone searched how to sound woke in 3 steps and quit halfway through step 1. No major bills, no real achievements, just loud theatrics wrapped inside a cloud of self-importance and curated outrage, where progress is measured not by votes won, but by retweets from influencers with ring lights and blue check marks. Meanwhile, Megan Kelly sliced through the performance with the precision of a chainsaw through a butter sculpture, smooth, cold, and devastating, showing that beneath all the noise, Crockett's political career is less about serving the public and more about building a personal brand, which isn't governance at all, but PR wrapped in a sharp attitude.
But she is going to be the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
You are going to be so glad she popped up on the scene.
That's going to make up for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We're going to get a segment a day from her.
You ever watch someone confuse attention for real impact? That's Jasmine Crockett in one neat package. A walking soundbite machine who treats every critique like an attack and every question like oppression, performing instead of answering with anything solid. I feel disrespected isn't legislation, and I feel attacked doesn't lower inflation, but it trends. It pulls headlines, and it keeps the spotlight exactly where she wants it, on her. Gutfeld, never one to waste words, captured it perfectly. Crockett's style of politics is like microwaving a frozen dinner and calling it homemade soul food. It's quick, it's loud, it smells like effort, but once you taste it, it's empty calories. She builds her arguments like flat pack furniture. Fast, flashy, but guaranteed to wobble under real pressure. Her method is always the same. Shout first, wave around dramatically next, then blame everything from the system to the air in the room. And somehow through all this emotional gymnastics, she still imagines herself as a modern freedom fighter. Something like Rosa Parks with Wi-Fi and a glam filter. Except Rosa Parks didn't record her stand in selfie mode. Megan Kelly didn't even need to go for the jugular. She simply revealed what was already paper thin, letting Jasmine's talking points dissolve like a cheap poster in the rain, because you can't fight for justice with empty slogans, performative outrage, and recycled hashtags. You can't demand credibility while showcasing confusion like it's an accessory, and Crockett's arguments showed just how fragile her political foundation truly is.
Like, this is, if you're gonna talk about Black history, at least know it. This is, at least know it, okay? But it goes back to, that was 45 seconds of some of the, like, Kamala, you good right now. That was some of the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. Here's the thing. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. They never have a solution. Just listen to your dumbass, you want to talk about agriculture? Why don't you fix the lottery? Why don't you make it easier for people who want to come into this country to work in agriculture and equitation?
Crockett's signature move is that intense stare she pulls out whenever her arguments run dry, as if she wants everyone to believe she's holding on to some secret wisdom only she can access, like a dramatic magic 8-ball stuck on try again later. But Greg Gutfeld and Megan Kelly weren't fooled for a second. They've seen that stare before. It's not strength, it's a stall tactic disguised as confidence. And the roast was so brutal it didn't even need a formal comeback, because Crockett's silence wasn't powerful, it was pure defeat. There's a special kind of public collapse that happens when someone runs out of spin mid-sentence and suddenly realizes no applause is coming, and that's exactly what unfolded. And let's not pretend this was a one-time slip. This is her entire congressional style, a master class in being loud and confidently wrong, showing up like Congress is an open mic night at a slam poetry bar, and she's convinced the spotlight belongs to her. Meanwhile, in the real world where voters expect results instead of TikTok tantrums, Gutfeld and Kelly delivered the reset she didn't know she needed, basically saying, can we stop pretending that vibes equal vision? Because Jasmine Crockett isn't representing voters, she's gathering followers. And you'd think after being mimed by two of the sharpest voices in political commentary she'd reflect, maybe trade sass for substance. But no, she'll probably respond with a statement made entirely of emojis, recorded from the back seat of a Tesla tequila with a Starbucks cup in one hand and a misquoted Malcolm X in the other. The full scale of the takedown was almost artistic. Gutfeld, with his classic "I've seen it all" calm, peeled Crockett open like a banana and called out the obvious. If your entire strategy is performative outrage, you're not a politician, you're a reaction channel in a blazer. And Kelly, who could intimidate with just a glance, didn't just dismantle her argument, she audited her political core, creating a takedown so sharp it felt like watching someone get roasted in Latin and still understanding every insult. It was the perfect example of brains over theatrics. Crockett came ready for a slap fight when she needed a chess strategy. And here's the twist. She still thinks she won, like a reality show contestant finishing last but insisting they played a brilliant social game, when really she didn't play at all. She got played.